everyone. So this is the beginning of a class for research methodology. So we're going to be saying what is and why research in this video. We often hear of the word research, but do we really know what it means? A lot of people think research is just collecting information, rearranging facts, or finding rare documents. But that is not quite right. Let's take a look at what research is not before we dive into what it actually is. So our slide, all we have here is research is not merely gathering information. Gathering information or facts from different sources or a particular topic is not the same as research. Rather, the appropriate term should be information discovery or reference skills. Which of us is good? But these are actually a pathway to lead us to the written called research. Right? Most of the time when we say you can do research and we'll have to go to sources like Google, which is beautiful, articles, those are good. But that's not research. Let's say you want to know about climate change and you spend hours reading reports, watching documentaries and taking notes. That's great. What you are doing, you are learning, right? You are actually getting informations. But that is not research, right? Because true research goes further. It asks why and how something happens, and it looks for patterns, trends, and explanations. Now, next, research isn't about taking existing knowledge and shuffling it around. Let's say your boss asks you to summarize last sales year's report for rewriting the same data in a new format. That is useful, but it is not research. It's just repackaging information. A real research project wouldn't just summarize the report. It would analyze the sales trend, compare them with the market conditions, and maybe even predict future performance based on customer behavior. So research is about finding new insights, not just moving around, past informations. So the next slide, I'm going to be saying that research is not just digging for hard to find information. It's not rummaging for hard to find information. So let's say, for example, people like, I know a lot of people can be this hardworking and they want to tag that as research, but that's not true. And so because you are looking for hard to find information, it's kind of, I'm actually doing research. Or maybe go online and there's a particular stuff you are looking for, a particular word or a particular explanation that you're not seeing. Maybe they taught you in school and you don't really know it, and then you are going to the library, you're going to the internet to actually want to get information about it. And so because it's hard to find, and then you cannot target, I'm actually doing research about this particular subject matter. But that is not just research. That's not research. Research goes beyond that. We can just tag that exercise of yours as self-enlightenment. Self-enlightenment. That can be, again, I repeat, a pathway to research. But that is not actually research. It can just be called self-enlightenment. Right. A good example is, let's say, imagine you're working on a family history project, and you are finally track down an old birth certificate from 1920. And that's impressive. It's hard to find, right? And you actually found it. That's impressive. It's like a detective work, but that's not research. It's just a search. A lot of people confuse that word search and research. When you're searching for something, just feel that all of them like Nigeria all join, but that's not true. Research goes beyond. Now, if someone takes that birth certificate now, compare it with historical records, and then discover a pattern of migration that no one has studied before, then that's research. You have added and contributed to knowledge. We can call that research. So it's about making connection and drawing conclusions, not just finding hidden documents. Right? Other archaeologists, those people, they used to find hidden stuffs. Right? But that is beyond research. So what then is research? So Research is a structured, step-by-step approach. Right? You see what I wrote in the slide. So generally, research is the organized and systematic method of finding answers to questions. So that word systematic, you see I highlighted it proper, right? It must be followed. So there's no research if there's no systematic method of finding answers to questions. So it is systematic because it's a process broken up into clear steps that leads to conclusion. So there must be conclusion based on what you have researched, based on what you have studied. There must be a conclusion that has been derived. Right. Now let's think about the scientists testing a new medicine. No, they don't just go about reading old studies and call it a day. So if I just found out, yes, so this is happening in the medical stuff, and I just stop there, I'm not actually doing research, right? Just going about reading, old articles of what people have found already. It's not research, right? What a scientist will do, right? A medical practitioner, what they will do is that they conduct experiments. They will compare results and determine if the medicine actually works. Let's say they want to test for a new drug. Now, they'll have to go through the process of, conducting experiments, compare the results, and determine the medicine is working. If they just go about just reading old studies and calling it a day, then they have not done research. They have not done research, right? So I believe you are seeing the clear difference between, just concluding on you just going about looking for how to find information, alright, and you have said you have done research. That is not research, because what you just did now, maybe I just gathered information. What you just did is good. It's going to help be a bedrock, right, for research, for the research proper. Just be, there's something called literature review, right? And we're going to discuss that in the next class. So it can just be a bedrock of the research. So research will mean that I'm going through the process. That process to research. But I see that in the next slide, how that you have to identify problem statement, you have to test for hypothesis, you have to carry out data analysis, you have to see to it that all these steps are carried out. You have to even get approval from the IRB, right? That's the Institute Review Board, to ensure that your research is ethical. And then, after you have come through all this process, you arrive at a conclusion. Then you present your findings. Then you have actually carried out research. So if you just go about looking at how to find information or gather information, those are good, but those are means to an end. So there's an end to research. That is conclusions being derived from your study. What have you actually found? What have you actually measured? Right. There are a lot of research work you could actually look at to see how they actually go about to carry their research. If you have read any research paper, you find out that what they did there is not just to go about gathering other people's information. They were actually driven by a purpose when they're writing their own research paper. Although they can use other people's work as a bedrock for their own finding. In short, what we're going to be seeing later on in this study is that how to even derive problem statement. Right? Problem statement is that we can actually cite a problem from the suggestion of further studies from other people's research, which is beautiful. If you want to actually excel, in getting research right, then you have to read other people's research to see how they systematically approach theirs, so you can actually build from there and do yours. Then make sure you arrive at a conclusion, right, following clear steps. Alright, so I have a quote here: research is only successful if we find answers. So if you have not found answers, then you have not had career research. Now there's part B to the quote, whether we like these answers or not. Right, so a lot of people should have a preconceived notions to research, and which is not so absolute regularity, because if we want to always bend our research, especially for the analysis part. We want to actually bend it to suit in our preconceived notion. Then we're just maintaining the fact that we're not actually doing research, because research means you don't really have answers and you're looking for answers. So if you're carrying the answers in your head like that, and you have not actually, and you're not accepting the answers that the research is giving to you, right? You are defeating the essence of research, because you're not providing answers. You're just upholding a preconceived notion, right, which is not right. I have scenario where people ask me, just make sure that especially when I'm carrying research analysis for their research paper. So just make sure that it's not called p-value. The p-value is aligns with what my hypothesis is saying. So they want to make sure that they reject the null hypothesis. So want to make sure that they accept the null hypothesis. So it's quite so funny, but I believe this code to help us see that research is really successful if we find the right answers, right? If we find answers, whether we like these answers or not. So we're not to manipulate the answers to our tastes, right? We are just to present what we found to stakeholders. So one of the benefits of research, we have research yields valuable information and expands our understanding, innovation and industry growth. Alright, those are part of the benefit of conducting research: academic and career advancement, problem solving impact. So these are part of the benefit of conducting research. So we can see that when we conduct research, right, we yield valuable information and expand our understanding. You cannot be considered an authority in knowledge if you are not actually carrying out research and actually contributing to other people's understanding about their subject matter. How we know an authority in a particular knowledge in the academic field is that you are carrying out research. You carrying out research gives you that credibility. It gives you that edge that we can trust you, on that particular aspect where you are carrying out your research on. Since you are publishing it and then you are contributing to knowledge. So it helps innovation and industry growth. There's no research, there's no organization, right, that would thrive without an R&D, that's research and development department, right? Because research actually births innovations. All the innovations we see in the world today, technological innovations, economic innovations, it's hinged on the bedrock of research. Research actually provided, a platform for innovation to take place and thrive. So we see again that academic and career advancements, definitely, once you keep carrying out research, there will be career advancement, there will be academic advancement. A lot of us that want to go for a master's or go for a PhD, part of the criteria are published work, right? Public work and research interest. So you have to ensure that if you are carrying out research, you are having this benefit in mind. So to just help spur your interest, to help spike up your passion, carrying it, and ensure that it's ethical enough to provide solutions to man. And again, it's problem solving and impact. Alright, all researchers are known for their problem solving skills and the impact they make. Right. Imagine bringing up a study that is helping the medical field, is helping the transportation field, is helping all area of fields. Those are interesting stuff to want to venture into. Right. Thank you.